The magnificence of ancient monuments around the world and the sophistication of their design have consistently defied conventional archaeological explanations. How did our ancestors build these incredible structures without the aid of modern technology? Theories that range from slave labor to extraterrestrial intervention have been proposed, yet none offer a comprehensive answer. Could we be missing a piece of the puzzle that unblocks the mystery of ancient construction techniques? Among these, the hypotheses involving levitation and advanced acoustics are perhaps the most fascinating. Did ancient civilizations possess knowledge that has been lost to time? Could they have used the power of sound to move huge stones? And are we on the verge of rediscovering techniques that suggest a lost technological sophistication that rivals or even surpasses our own? We'll try to find out together in the new episode of Hidden Origins. Welcome! Across the globe, remnants of ancient civilizations stand as monumental testaments to the ingenuity of our ancestors. In Baalbek, Lebanon, the age-old Temple of Jupiter holds 3 gigantic monolithic stones, each weighing an estimated 1,000 tons. Similarly impressive is Puma Punku in Bolivia, where we see carved blocks of stone each weighing around 100 tons are dispersed over an expansive plateau. To give a modern-day perspective on the challenge of moving such massive objects, consider the capabilities of our advanced machinery. A contemporary 988 cat loader, a type of heavy-duty machinery, has the power to lift a boulder weighing up to 22 tons. It might even manage to drag a stone weighing as much as 40 tons across the ground. But if we were faced with moving a boulder weighing 50 tons or more, our modern technology would have to escalate considerably. We'd need to deploy a whole arsenal of specialized equipment, including large cranes, hydraulic jacks, and robust steel girders. So, how did the ancient people move these enormous blocks of stone? Millions of people visit the pyramids of Giza each year, which is not surprising given their enormous size and complexity. The largest of the 3 pyramids, the Khufu Pyramid, is approximately 755 feet wide at its base and was originally 481 feet high. Each of the more than 2 million limestone slabs used to construct the Khufu Pyramid weighed approximately 2.5 tons on average, with the heaviest one coming at 80 tons. But lifting 2 million large limestone slabs is a huge undertaking. How did they get these stones here? The fact is, no one really knows for certain exactly how they were constructed. Mainstream science contends that it took a workforce of 4,000 to 5,000 men and 20 years to build the Great Pyramid using ropes, pulleys, ramps, ingenuity, and brute force. And it's possible, but is that even relevant? Two popular theories aim to answer this enigma. Either an advanced, now lost civilization once resided on Earth, or extraterrestrial beings intervened in our history, bestowing advanced knowledge upon our ancestors. Myths and legends from these ancient cultures often describe divine or superhuman forces employing levitation techniques to manipulate these colossal stones. The local folklore surrounding England's Stonehenge, for instance, speaks of levitational methods to transport its towering stones. And when it comes to the construction of Egypt's Great Pyramid, the 5th century BC historian Herodotus wrote of celestial guardians imparting to the Egyptians the ability to float the limestone blocks used in the pyramid's construction. Some researchers argue that ancient cultures might have really mastered the art of sound-based levitation, allowing them to manipulate heavy objects with ease. Although there are no first-hand testimonies, a later written testimony by Abu Hassan Ali al-Musudi, an Arab historian renowned as the Herodotus of the Arabs from the 10th century, offers some intriguing hints. After extensive travels around the globe, al-Musudi settled in Egypt and wrote a comprehensive 30-volume history of the world. Like so many others, he was fascinated by Egypt's majestic pyramids. Although there are no first-hand testimonies, a later written testimony by Abu Hassan Ali al-Musudi, an Arab historian renowned as the Herodotus of the Arabs from the 10th century, offers some intriguing hints. After extensive travels around the globe, al-Musudi settled in Egypt and wrote a comprehensive 30-volume history of the world. Like so many others, he was fascinated by Egypt's majestic pyramids. While levitation may sound a bit fictitious, and rightfully so, since most people think of it as some form of sorcery, supernatural power, or some sort of futuristic science used in flying saucers, there is actual science behind it. During the 1970s, British science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke formulated 3 laws to explore the boundaries between science and science fiction, with the third law stating that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. However, as we mentioned at the beginning, the pyramids aren't the only enigmatic ancient structures composed of gigantic stone blocks. Consider other monumental works like the Temple of Jupiter in Baalbek, Lebanon, home of the 3 largest stone blocks ever utilized in human architecture. Each block is believed to weigh a staggering of 1,000 tons. Despite the limitations of contemporary industrial equipment, these stones are so precisely aligned that not even a sheet of paper can be inserted between them. Nearby sits Hajar el-Hibla, the single largest piece of stone ever carved by human hands, weighing at 1,200 tons. It is estimated that it would take the combined strength of 16,000 men just to move it slightly, a feat even modern technology would find daunting. Another enigma is Non Madol, an archaeological marvel located on the island of Pohnpei in Micronesia. Often referred as the Machu Picchu of the Pacific, Non Madol is unique for being the only ancient city built atop a coral reef. The site dates back to approximately 200 BC and consists of hundreds of stone blocks, each around 3 meters long and 1 meter in diameter. These logs are stacked similarly to firewood, forming walls that reach heights of 40 feet and thickness of 18 feet, surpassing the height of a 3-story building. The stone logs individually weigh approximately 2.5 tons, while some that form the towering walls can weigh up to 50 tons. So again, the question is, how did they accomplish such monumental feats? Many anecdotal accounts of acoustic levitation come from travelers in the Far East who claim to have met mystics or ascetics capable of levitating objects, sometimes with the help of sound. One remarkable account comes from a medical practitioner named Dr. Jarl, who claims to have witnessed this phenomenon firsthand during his time in secluded Tibetan community. In 1939, Dr. Jarl was summoned to a secluded Tibetan region to provide medical care for a revered Buddhist monk afflicted with an unidentified disease. After gaining the trust of their community, he was invited to witness a stunning display of sonic levitation as a sign of gratitude. The monks led him to a remote clearing encircled by towering cliffs. At the clearing's center lay a massive stone slab situated roughly 250 meters from one of the cliffs. The monks assembled 19 musical instruments, 13 drums, and 6 trumpets in a semicircular pattern around the stone. As they initiated a symphony of drums and trumpets, a horde of monks began to chant, gradually increasing the pace. Although the initial 4 minutes yielded no results, the stone began to tremble and eventually took flight as the crescendo reached its peak. It soared upwards finally, suddenly, settling atop of a cliff 250 meters above its original position. Dr. Jarl captured this phenomenon on film, but sadly, the footage has since been confiscated and classified. But that's not the only example of acoustic levitation. The Florida Coral Castle, constructed by Edward Leedskalnin between 1923 and an unspecified year, is an enigmatic labyrinth stone fortress. Comprising nearly 1,000 tons of quarried rock, the entire structure was single-handedly carved, assembled, and lifted into place by Leedskalnin himself. One obelisk he erected is said to weigh 28 tons, while the heaviest stone on the premises is estimated to weigh a staggering 35 tons. To put this into perspective, some of these stones are twice as heavy as the largest blocks used in the Great Pyramid of Giza. And he accomplished all of this without the use of any heavy-duty machinery. Leedskalnin himself was cryptic, but not intriguing. He said, "I've unearthed the pyramid's mysteries, understanding how the ancients in places like Peru, Yucatan, and Asia lifted heavy stones using only rudimentary tools." He claimed that through his Freemason connections, he'd come across secretive knowledge that helped him manipulate gravitational forces. 21st-century scientists are unsure if such a thing is even conceivable. He said, "I've unearthed the pyramid's mysteries, understanding how the ancients in places like Peru, Yucatan, and Asia lifted heavy stones using only rudimentary tools." He claimed that through his Freemason connections, he'd come across secretive knowledge that helped him manipulate gravitational forces. 21st-century scientists are unsure if such a thing is even conceivable, and several scientists have succeeded in levitating and moving microscopic particles and liquid droplets using sound waves. In 2 such trials, Lightweight polystyrene balls larger than the levitating wavelengths were successfully levitated, marking a significant advancement in the control of focus sound pressure. In a 2016 test conducted by a team of researchers from the UK and Brazil, a 50 mm polystyrene ball was raised several centimeters off the ground and remained there for the duration of the sound waves. Just 1 year later, in January 2017, researchers at the University of Bristol in England made headlines when they introduced a prototype for a portable tractor beam, a device capable of levitating small objects solely through the use of sound waves. This handheld apparatus, equipped with an array of speakers, permits its user to focus sound waves on lightweight materials, thus effectively neutralizing the force of gravity and lifting the object into the air. So could this be an early form of an ancient technique once used to levitate immense stones? While today's technology is limited to lifting only small lightweight objects, it's worth considering whether ancient civilizations had advanced to a level where they could manipulate this principle on a much grander scale. If we allow ourselves to entertain this idea, it offers a compelling explanation for the construction of colossal megalithic structures that have puzzled experts for centuries. It gives plausibility to ancient myths and legends that describe levitation as the means by which monumental stones were moved. In this context, what we are witnessing today with these technological developments might be a rediscovery or re-engineering of lost ancient wisdom. As modern science continues to explore the capabilities of acoustic levitation, we may find that the ancients were far more advanced in this area than we ever imagined. So does acoustic levitation explain how the gigantic ancient monuments, like the pyramids, were built? Opinions vary. While mainstream archaeologists rely on theories involving ramps and pulleys, the logistics, in terms of size and material requirement, seem almost impossible. Plus, questioning established theories often gets you labeled as a fringe thinker, even though scientific revolutions have often come from outside the mainstream. Figures like Kepler, Copernicus, Palster, and Tesla were all once considered heretics. Isn't it a bit presumptuous to dismiss alternative theories as pseudoscience? After all, many revolutionary ideas were initially rejected. Take the Wright brothers, for instance. In 1903, the New York Times said human flight wouldn't be possible for millions of years. It's often how we perceive the new ideas that gets us to create it and manifest it in our reality. Don't ever forget this: what you believe in will eventually become true. We bow before you. And thank you for watching another episode of Hidden Origins. Keep your minds open, and until we meet again.